What happens when you get rock bottom price levels for Australia's best ASX oil stocks and a massive supply risk like fresh sanctions on Russian oil? Well, you get the potential for one of the best trading opportunities of the year. So get ready, because today we're revealing 3 ASX oil stocks that are setting up for an opportunity that may not come again. But knowing when to take advantage, well, that's what we do best here at Wealth Within. Our experts are sought after by major outlets like Bloomberg and CNBC because we know how to separate real opportunity from hype, and we've helped thousands of clients spot moments just like the one we're about to show you today. I'm Philip Tortevsky, and joining me is Wealth Within analyst Pedro Banales. Good evening, mate.
Good evening, Phil.
Excellent. We have got oil on the cards. It's all in the major news today. So let's get straight into it now. Supply risks. Again, Pedro, this is what is being spoken about, obviously sanctions on Russian oil. But I mean, you've been looking at this oil space and energy for quite a while. The sector's ticked up. Last week it had one of its best weeks in, I think, all year. And so are we seeing a bit of a rotation now into this space? And I think, is it timely that we start looking here right now to not fall 3-4 months behind and say, oh, well, that opportunity's gone?
Yeah, it definitely does seem like things are lining up for oil. So I'll start off with the price. It's bounced off $55 a barrel. That's crude oil. And it's now trading at around $65 a barrel. So that's quite a move for oil. And this comes off the back of, as you mentioned, US and its allies imposing tariffs, oil tariffs on 2 of Russia's biggest oil companies, which is quite significant. But it may not put so much of a dent in their production. So what they're thinking about doing is actually imposing secondary tariffs on the countries that buy crude oil from them, which are Turkey, China, and India. So that will put a massive dent in their bottom line. But the US has come out and said that they're going to fill up their strategic petroleum reserve, which now sits at 400 million barrels. And it's got a potential to have 700 million barrels. So you could imagine how low they're sitting in their reserves. So they're going to strategically purchase oil. They've got $171 million to do that, to buy 1 million barrels for the moment, which is nothing basically in the grand scheme of things. So with these purchases, and if they continue to purchase to fill up those reserves, that's going to put a bottom line in the price of crude oil, and it's going to increase demand as well. So we've got both factors. We've got the supply side and the demand side coming in.
Yeah, and most importantly, we've got the chart that we're going to get into right now. So let's dive into our first stock, which is Karoon Energy. Now I'll start things off on the chart of Karoon. Obviously, Pedro, this is one that now we're talking about, obviously, producers, Karoon, and some of the rest that are coming up. But what I really like about this stock, because to me it always comes back to, yes, there's this overriding macro theme going on right now, but what is price telling us? Because often you'll find macro might lead you one way, the chart tells the opposite. With energy, we've seen, the use for energy, the need for energy, throw in the elephant in the room, which is AI, and how much energy that requires in terms of, hardware and software. And yet we're still seeing the, energy players, including the oil players, take a bit of a dive over the last couple of months. But right now, it's about lining up for me, and I'll start off on the monthly chart because it's all about lining up the risk-reward scenario and what the buyers and sellers are telling from the price action. So I'll mark up a few levels with Karoon. No-brainer, such an important level, $1.25, which we've been talking about for a while. And I'll just apply one more line because it's about identifying, for me, the moment of when momentum is turning and momentum is changing. Now, this is just one example of one thing that gives you an indication of when things are turning. There are 4 or 5 other things which I'm not going to get into, stuff that we do teach, which will really give you that strong conviction to know that, hey, Karoon is set up right now, ready for an opportunity, because that's what it's all about. We can talk till the cows come home about what may happen with this bit of information or that bit of information, but getting the timing right on the entry, that means everything for what happens when you close that trade and what you end up with once it's all said and done. So I think this is a stock right now, when you put that into the basket of getting ready for something big, absolutely. but you need to be equipped with the skills to be able to identify how strong this reversal is going to be and when this indeed becomes confirmation in terms of a reversal. Now, for upside potential, I think, and on that point also, if you do want to know the answers to those things, please go and check out our website and go have a look at our trading courses under the education tab, because you'll find all of that there. That's what Wealth Within is expert at, is getting the timing right in terms of finding these great opportunities. But back to the chart, when I look at where the opportunities lie for Karoon, it's always important to start off with worst case scenario. And I know I'll get your thoughts in a second, Pedro, but something that traders often misalign is, plan for the worst and hope for the best. And for me, when we're talking big picture on the monthly chart here, I think it's very reasonable to accept once this confirmation comes in, Karoon can attack that $2.68 level. And beyond that, I think once it gets through there, there's a real chance for Karoon to move up to this $5 level, or just, $4.80 level, especially with the way it's lining up in its grand cycle of things, with the big base out, the big correction, and now showing these next signs. That's the promising part for Karoon. And I think if I just go to the weekly chart real quick, and Pedro's going to be upset at me because I've taken everything from him to speak about, but when we look at the volume, if I zoom that out, look at this. At the all-time low or major low, big pickup in volume, and we've not seen a drop off. In fact, getting ready for that next leg, what you want to see, does volume tick up? And sure enough, it is. So we're seeing way more activity than anything in the past, meaning there's a lot more participation in this stock than has been. All of those little indicators to me are lining up to say, hey, you need to be watching this stock right now. Sorry, mate. I know you want to say something.
Mate, can I just place the buy right now? I mean, that's that's all that's left to do, right?
Sorry,
You sold
mate.
me.
Yeah, but I mean, it's important because getting the timing right, is everything really. And how many times have you seen, we've seen students come to us and say, oh, I used to watch the news all the time. I used to try to follow what Trump says next. And then it's like, I get lost because then that goes and price action isn't doing what I think, like lithium, you take Tesla, for example. Tesla is a stock that over the last year has been hammered in the news for over a year, yet the share price is getting close to that all-time high. It's up around 70%. And we've done shows on that to show, hey, price isn't doing what you think it's doing according to the news. So when you look at this one, Karoon, I mean, is it enough for you, or are you also waiting for that next level of confirmation, but looking promising?
Yeah, I think the key word there is that confirmation. I think many traders, when they come to us anyway, what I've found is that they focus on the smaller time frame. The first thing that we fix here is making them focus on the larger time frame first. And without giving too much away, then you work your way down, to that smaller time frame. But you don't want to go too small at the same time. And there is a fine line. And we use the monthly and the weekly chart here to outline, what the movements are doing. And I would recommend people do the same. Have a look at that longer term time frame. Now, is this doing enough to warrant some action at the moment? Possibly not. Now, you did draw that down momentum or trend line, whatever we want to call it. And people may think that we're just drawing a line on the chart, but we're having a look at the certain price action and knowing whether that is a valid trend line or not. And that's exactly what we teach here. It isn't just a matter of just drawing a line on the chart. There needs to be some conviction and some price movement around it. So just basically, that line that you've drawn, I would at least want price to trade a little bit above that level, and then other things to happen, certain confirmations. But I do like the fact that volume is starting to come up. I mean, look at that on that huge up move here that we saw on that week. It closed 15% high on that volume expanding. Now, I mean, that is definitely a canary in the coal mine to let us know that there is buying activity going on at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good point, something to keep an eye on. Now, on what Pedro said, a lot of the lines or stuff we do an introduction to, all of it is in this book, How to Beat the Managed Funds by 20%. It's free. The link is in the description below. You just have to pay the shipping. But as I mentioned earlier, if you do really want to get serious about your trading, and now there's never a better time with the way the market is, please go and check out our website, visit the education section and look at our trading courses. They're government accredited, and that can't be said for a lot of others out there. So please go and do that. Now, next up is Woodside Energy. And if you think this one's going to be impressive, then stick around, because the next one is the dark horse that could be the pick of the bunch. But anyway, let's move to Woodside. Pedro, please take it away, mate.
Ooh, looking forward to that dark horse. But I'm glad that you'd saved Woodside for me, because I do really like this stock and the company itself. Now, looking at the chart, I've got two levels marked here. $20, which has been a solid base. I'll expand out the chart. It's been a solid base for the stock for multiple times now. Yes, price has dipped briefly below it, but 20 seems to be a nice level there for the stock to find support at. And then we've got 27 as a resistance level, which it's currently looking like it's heading towards. Now, if I just put some volume here on the monthly chart, we can see that volume has spiked here on the month of June. When it tried to hit that level, but then abruptly got sold off, and then it tried to trade above that level again and had a bit of an indecision. And then now it looks like it's about to retest it again. Now, how far do we have to that level? We've got around that 9%. But the monthly chart in itself isn't going to tell you, when the exact trigger point is going to be. So we go to the weekly chart, and this goes back to what we were saying about being able to apply trend lines and momentum lines and things like that. Because to me, just applying a line down here isn't going to be enough to let me know that the momentum has changed. Yes, we've got other things that we can confirm. We've got other levels. Obviously, there's more price analysis that we can apply to this. It will blow people's minds if we start applying everything that we know. But in basic sense, what I do like is just a simple price action that's happening. Much like Karoon, we've got this weekly bar that has traded 10%. We've got higher volume coming in. This is a solid top 20 company, Woodside. It's got the lowest cost of production as well. They're just some little added bonus tips. But basically on the chart, I do like what's happening here. And if I just put a horizontal line above that level there, just to outline that $27 level, which if you wanted to wait for a little bit more confirmation, you could wait until price breaks above it. But, why, when you can just, have a solid money management, which is another thing that we talk about a lot on the course. And it's a very important aspect of it. I mean, we talk about price analysis here, but you also need to have your money management and position sizing correctly. If you don't have position sizing correct, everything will go out the window. And I could argue that you could have a not so good strategy, but you have a solid position management strategy, and that will outperform time and time again than a solid technical analysis position. I mean, it's that important.
Yeah.
So that's just a little side thing to consider.
No, it's a big point. And I think more so, even when we look at Woodside, if we go to the chart, you have to, I guess, accept and realize that Woodside is not a stock that you just bottom pick. Because if you were playing the bottom picking game for Woodside since December 08, you'd be well down. Because just identifying a low and trying to pick as the stock's going lower, again, it puts a point in. This is a top 20 stock. You would think, or all those pundits out there that would say, "Oh, you just buy a correction and for a big stock that it always works out." Well, that is not the case. And being technical with Woodside, like you said, not just having a capital risk and money management in place, having an exit strategy. Because all throughout this down move through here, you could have still traded Woodside on these up legs and still made money and got out, if you knew what you were doing, out of these down runs that followed. And it's, again, it's something that you can learn, but it's not difficult if you know what you're doing, and why I raise that point is right now, for those that are trying to bottom pick Woodside, you need to be very, skilled and structured in identifying that confirmation in terms of when that reversal is coming, because 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the past, it's only had short spikes. And if you are going to get involved, how do you exit to lock in profit? Because if you're buying and holding, you're running a risk there that it's not going to go or it's just going to go for a run up to around $39, $38. You keep holding and it drops back down to 27. Because the reality is this stock has been stuck between 27 and 40 bucks for a long time. And so identifying by looking at the chart what the opportunity is for Woodside, for me, it's a trading opportunity right now. It's not an investing opportunity. And the clue is, or the key is being good at identifying when the relationship between the buyers and the sellers are changing from bearish to bullish. Early on in the turn, that is what gives you the conviction to get a nice risk reward play. And again, without going into too much, I think we could very well be starting that dynamic now happening, especially if the sellers get weak. Look at how strong the buying has been through October. We're almost near the end of October. And so if we finish October like this, then there's a real chance that we might be picking up and attacking that $27 level initially. If we can break through that $27 level, this stock might be ready for a nice run back to that $38 level. But again, it's all about how you exit and how you keep what you've got on paper, which is crucial for a stock like this for me. Once it gets above $40, then maybe you can start to talk, all right, this might have changed into more of an expansion long term. And for all those traders out there or investors, more long-term investors, that might be the safer spot to say, I might be willing to hold this for a bit longer. You got any thoughts on that, Pedro?
Yeah. It does look like it's starting a longer term bullish trend there on the chart. It's Woodside has been bearish, but with trading opportunities for a very, very long time. But it does look like it has bottomed, and this is a start of something, quite grand. And if you know how to structure it properly, if you can pinpoint it, there's a lot of upside left for Woodside, including those levels that you've outlined there.
Yeah, great. All right, now time to move on to Viva Energy, which came out with some market news today. Now take a look at this announcement. Their operating update, they released their third quarter operating update and the results were mixed. Their refining margins jumped 76% thanks to higher prices, but overall earnings slipped on weaker retail fuel and tobacco sales, plus refinery maintenance downtime. Now, there was some positive news for Q4 as the outlook was looking brighter as the Geelong refinery restarts and some cost cut benefits to flow through. So watch this space, but let's get into the chart of VEA, Pedro. Now, this is another one. Again, if you do look at the price of the stock, rock bottom prices lining up technically in a way that, really traders could get excited from. But again, for me, it's the confirmation. And maybe give us a little bit of your thoughts on, you see good news, or in this case, maybe not great news, and yet potentially you may see reversals on the stock price. And, a lot of people get, I guess, sucked into looking at news today and thinking, well, what's happened today must mean, an immediate reaction by the stock. But what they fail to mention or realize is that, you look at analysts, big funds, they're looking at projections, they're looking at future earnings, what comes next. They're basing current price on future expectation. And so, maybe in all of this report, even though it was not good news, if the price does hold and move up, it's what's coming in Q4 and after. That's what could reverse this price for me. So I think, this is what's happening on the chart is going to dictate more so than you looking at reports that have happened or looking at, fundamental figures, current or past, to identify what comes next. I know it's something you see quite a bit when you talk to traders and students, but never more so important when you look at a stock like VEA, because you might miss that up. You might look at the fundamentals and go, not a good report, I'll forget about it. But that's when the opportunity might present technically. And if you're not looking, you'll look at this stock 30 or 40% later potentially and go, oh, yeah, now I'm going to have a good look at it. But that's when the smart money might be selling.
Yeah, I mean, we say that the charts are the leading indicators and the fundamentals are the lagging indicators. They presented what they did in the last quarter three, but it doesn't tell you what the price is potentially going to do, because that's really what we want to know as traders and investors. I mean, what's the price going to do? And really, you need a chart to identify that. And this goes back to, traders and investors focusing on that narrow time frame. You see this and you see that the stock, I think today is down like 3%, and you're thinking, all right, well, it must be negative because the stock is down. But, that's just part of a broader move and the way that the stock is moving and critical levels that are coming into play. Because if you look at the chart, it actually looks quite healthy. You can see that this $1.70 level has provided support, ever since the stock came out back in 2018. It actually provided support around 2021 and more recently in 2025. And now it has come back to that level. Now, on the other side, we've got $2.60 which on the upside has provided resistance. Now, this is why this is our dark horse, because if it can hold up at these levels, it's got a nice clear 45% on the way up to that next critical resistance level. And I think that that is looking quite likely, as the way that this is unfolding here and knowing technical analysis, this to me is indicating something of a reversal. Yes, you've got price, starting to align. You've got the opens and the closes. We've got price down a little bit today, but we've also got this gap here, and you've got other factors that obviously I don't have time to get into at the moment. But if we just put a simple momentum line down here, if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, you could wait until price breaks above that. If not, there might be some other indicators that will tell you when the trend is changing. But I think that this price is going to lead the next report. And I hope that people remember that when the Q4 results come out and they say our refinery, Geelong refinery, is back up, full production, great results, the price would have already moved. And that's exactly what you were talking about. It could be up 30% by that time because that's already been factored in.
Yeah, great point. All right, now if you want more hot stock tips, check out our video, buy bargain ASX real estate stocks before the RBA rate cut.